Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Uldis. I'm a professor at the University of San Francisco. I teach history, East Asian history primarily. And we have managed to put together a group of people who are very much interested in putting together a cross-cultural show, which will include various aspects, a little bit of politics, a little bit of literature, a little bit of technology and things like this. My co-partner here is Yulin Xu, and she's in the San Jose area. She's been living in the States for a while. She'll introduce herself in a little bit. Let me say just a few more words about myself. I teach East Asian history and politics sometimes at USF. I've been there for quite a few years, since 1977. And of course, I visited China quite a few times. My first stay was in Hong Kong in the early 70s, and then many times since then. And tonight we'll celebrate mostly the events that happened 50 years ago. But I'd like Yulin to take over and introduce herself. So here she is.
Well, thank you, Professor Cruz. Three of us, we decided to put on the YUS show because my name is Yulin and Professor Uldis Cruz, it's U, and Professor Steve Roddy, it's S. So it would be YUS show, and that's youth. And then because both of them are really expert in Chinese language, so we also have a Chinese name called 友谊长青, that means friendship forever. So our purpose is really to transform ourselves from lecturing in the classroom to bring a comedy show to you. And we blend the American humor with Chinese humor. And what we hope is that we hope to share American culture with Chinese people in Chinese, and we hope to share Chinese culture with American people in English. I think it will be a fun show. To start off, what I would like to do today is to introduce since Professor Cruz, he is an expert in Bob Hope. So I'm going to introduce one Chinese comedian that I really love. Let's hear his singing. He's singing Page King opera, even though he's a famous Chinese comedian.
I can't hear anything anymore. Oh.
So that's the beginning of this Chinese opera. And his name is Xiao Shenyang. That means little Shenyang. For those of you who have been to Shenyang, it's a very large city, or the largest city in northern China, just northeast of Beijing. So Xiao Shenyang, little Shenyang, that's his name for the show. So I'm going to just to continue, and hopefully it will be fun. So basically, it's 每一次无眠，你都浮现，你将你的小船云里雾间，每一次为难，你都相愿，无你无私的体贴。暖我心田，多少年情不断，多么想抱你怀间。过眼的红颜，风吹云散，唯有你的双眼映我心间。相爱人最怕有情无缘， 长相思却不能长相依恋。放眼望，天水蓝，你就在天水之间。So basically, this is a love song. It's in a Peking opera style. And Xiao Shenyang, even though he's a comedian, but he sings it beautifully. So I'm not a good one, but on the other hand, I hope that, this can share with you a little bit of the Chinese humor, fun with you.
That's right. Well, this was all done in the spirit of friendship and love and empathy, compassion, and trying to build bridges of understanding and trust, across big ocean. And so when did all of this start? When did all of this start? And so here, let me do just a couple of minutes and introduce a little bit of serious history. Today, February 22nd, is the 50th anniversary of what became known as the Shanghai Communique. And this was an important document that was signed by President Nixon when he visited Beijing for a week in early 1972. It brought an end to this terrible Cold War confrontation between the US government and the People's Republic of China government. So the process of normalized relations begins really in 1972. And so 50 years later, we can have these kinds of events on YouTube and Show, and melding different kinds of platforms together to bring about some wonderful music and things like this. Now, my own contribution is to add some jokes by Bob Hope. For those of you who are an American audience, you will probably recognize Bob Hope, except for maybe the very, very young people watching this. But Hope was one of America's greatest entertainers. He was a great star in vaudeville, movies, stage, everything. But he was also a comedian in addition to being a dancer and everything like that. When 1972 happened, Hope really sprang into action. He wanted to go to China. He really did. The door actually was opened to him. Now, Hope was not a genius when it came to politics, and he didn't really know how to play the politics card very well. So it took him almost 7 years to finally get to China. But Hope's great accomplishment was that he organized the very first American TV show in Beijing in 1979. It was a 3-hour extravaganza, which was ultimately shown in September of 1979. It was a big show. And in the spirit of also a little bit of, I won't be able to follow Yulin in terms of her wonderful singing skills, but Hope begins the show with getting to know you, getting to know more about you, getting to know you, getting to know do. And so it's that kind of theme that it's about mutual understanding based on, contact, whatever that is. Now, Hope's arrangement was really through comedy. That was his scene. But of course, he brought along many other actors and actresses and dancers and so on to the show. But I went to the National Archives in Washington, D.C. 3 or 4 years ago. And Bob Hope left all of his joke books. Is it about time to quit?
Yeah, we need to take a break and then we'll right back continuing the jokes, both the Chinese one and the American one. So we'll have a lot of fun. The purpose of our show is to bring laughter to you. So join us soon.